Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Ag College Transfer Night with Illinois State University. So we're going to be going over first a quick run through of the IVCC Agriculture Program, and then we are going to let Corey Malone from Illinois State talk to us about Illinois State and their opportunities and their transfer opportunities and that whole process. So first, my name is Catherine Seabrook. I am one of the agriculture instructors and program coordinators at Illinois Valley Community College, and I will let Mr. Mott introduce himself as well.
And my name is Willard Mott, and I'm also an agriculture instructor and program coordinator here at IVCC. And I'm also excited to hear about the awesome opportunities at Illinois State University and how students can start at IVCC and finish at least their bachelor's degree, if not more, at ISU.
Absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We're actually going to be going over our brand new webpage for the agriculture department. So I'm going to get that shared there. And so here it's just www.ivcc.edu/agriculture. Very easy to get through. And this is a central location where you can find pretty much any information about the agriculture department at IVCC that you're interested in. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to show our brand new recruitment video to you guys to start things off.
Working on the farm's a job, but to me it really ain't a job because it's something that you enjoy, and I guess that's a good memo I could say to anybody. I mean, if you really enjoy what you do and you want to do a career that interests you, it's technically not a job.
The ag program is a really good start to a career that's never going to end. Farming will always be around, and then the new ag program is helping students not only see that, but also getting them prepared.
Upon graduation, students are going to be looking for job opportunities, and the job opportunities in agriculture are just numerous. And specifically in our district, agriculture is one of the #1 employers, one of the largest employers in the IVCC district, and actually throughout the state. And so when I think of the IVCC Ag program, and I think of the students that are involved in our program, what makes IVCC agriculture different or unique, one of the things that first comes to mind is our partnerships.
One being a partnership that we have with AgView and GrainCo FS called an Earn and Learn opportunity, where students they apply, and upon acceptance to the program, they will get a full ride at IVCC that the companies will pay for, and they'll also get guaranteed employment with one of the companies after graduation as well. And on top of that, they can intern or work for the company during their time that they're in school as well. So one of the things that we realize is that the financial barrier to an education is a very, very large one, and we pride ourselves on being able to help our students with that. And we have over $50,000 in scholarships, and they include both small scholarships that range from about the $500 range up to a full ride scholarship for our students that covers books, tuition, fees, all of that. So it's really helpful to our students to be able to not have to worry about finances when they come to IVCC.
So I received the Davis Family Agriculture Scholarship, and it was a huge benefit because then I can focus more on, things like my classes and the ag club.
The agriculture program here, not only is it really affordable for the education that you're getting, which, is a big thing to think about when you are going to college, but also it's really just a great learning experience, and there's so much more within it than you would think of. So really there's a place for everyone here.
It's just a great experience to come out and do the hands-on thing, and I guess you could say farm somewhere else, as in at the college. It's kind of neat to be right at the college and doing what you do every day. So
The instructors are the best of the best, in my opinion. They had their experiences personally, like Mr. Mott farms, Ms. Seabrook's family farms, and they're able to relate that to real-world experience close, as well as provide a learning experience. In a lab yesterday, we had a full conversation about soil conservation, tillage, no tillage, water standing, along with the lab that we were doing, which was water capability in soil.
The Ag Club here is for both ag students and students enrolled in IVCC as a whole. So anybody can join if you have an interest in agriculture. It's completely free. We do a lot of activities, a lot of events. So it's really good to get involved with everybody and get involved with agriculture more.
It makes me feel really proud to be here at IVCC and to be helping to grow the agriculture program and provide our agriculture community with unique opportunities for students to get involved and then take advantage of these careers that are available. So
again, we want to provide more opportunities for those students. We want to, find more internships for them, more job opportunities for them, more ways that they can find find their niche in agriculture and find their passion in agriculture as well. From the day that I got here to where we are today, I just feel a lot of pride. I feel that it's grown significantly in a lot of different ways, both again in the number of students, in the opportunities that we can provide for them, in the equipment that we can provide for them to use as well.
Agriculture is something that's always going to be around. There's always going to be some place in ag in the world. And it's important that we keep that going. We feed the world 3 times a day.
Okay, so that was our very much brand new recruitment video. I hope that gives you guys kind of a taste, a little snippet of what we do at IVCC Ag and what we're all about. And I hope that we can answer any questions that might have come up during the video as we go along and explain some of our programs and the opportunities that we have. So I'm going to scroll down here and we're going to get started with our degree and certificate programs. And I believe Willard is going to kick us off with that.
So the first degree that we want to talk about is our agriculture transfer degree. And this is the degree program that most of our students choose. So about 50% of our ag students are what we consider ag transfer students. So for students looking to start their career at IVCC and then plan to transfer, so they have that educational goal of a bachelor's degree and they know right off the bat that they want to go a transfer route, this is really the direction that they most often head. And so the ag transfer degree will earn you either an Associate of Arts or Associate of Science. And which degree that you pursue really depends on really where you're going to end up. And so what we do is we encourage our students to work with our counselors as well as work with the program coordinators, so myself or Catherine, to develop this plan so that way they can start here and then transfer, hopefully in this case, to ISU. Most of the curriculum is focused towards the general education requirements. And so students take approximately 45 credit hours or 15 courses of gen eds. These are speech courses, English, sciences, the things that are required for their major once they transfer. They also enroll in the agriculture courses that are related to their degree path as well. And so we are part of the IAI system here in Illinois, and we have 6 agriculture courses that are IAI approved. And those include agricultural economics, field crop sciences, soil science, agricultural mechanics, agricultural computers, and animal science. But we also have a lot of other courses that are accepted for transfer credit as well. And most of the time they transfer in as elective credits towards your majors. So we encourage students to, again, work with the counselors here and as well as those at the university to make sure that they do transfer and all those credits will move on. So we have a great ag transfer program that prepares students for that transfer to a university and to finish a bachelor's degree in agriculture. So that's our biggest degree program here as part of our ag program as a whole. I think that's probably it on the ag transfer side. We'll move into the agronomy degree. And our agronomy degree is part of our AAS program, which is an Associate of Applied Science. And these degree programs are composed of 45 credit hours of agriculture courses, about 15 courses, and 15 credit hours of general education. And those are the speech, the sciences, English, math, and those kinds of things. These degrees are designed to prepare students for careers in agriculture. So for example, here agronomy. And so students in this program complete an internship, and they're always very excited about the internship and the opportunity to go out and work in our local ag industry. And so that's always a highlight of students in our AAS degree programs. We also have an articulation agreement with Illinois State University, which is very unique to IVCC and something that we're also very excited about and very proud to have established. And so with our articulation agreement, students can enroll in the AAS in agronomy. They complete 60 credit hours. The gen eds are at the transfer level, but they take all the other agriculture courses as part of the AAS, and they are able to transfer then to Illinois State and complete their bachelor's in agriculture. And I believe it's about 67 additional credit hours once they reach the university. So this is a great program for students to really get their hands into agriculture, take a lot of courses here at IVCC, and one of two things: either enter the workforce in an ag career, or move on and complete a bachelor's in agriculture at Illinois State. So we're just very excited about this. We think it's a great program for students that maybe want to do both. And so with that, I'll turn it over to Catherine, and she'll talk about our ag business program.
Thank you. So yep, I will enter into that page as well. And so I just want to note, you probably saw me moving along these pages on our website. There is more information than I was showing on the last one, so you can find some more information down here. And again, we have our guide sheets posted on these as well, where you can find the total class breakdown for your time at the college. And so we also have a second AAS degree, and this is in agricultural business management. So it differs slightly from the agronomy degree in that you're going to take more classes that are obviously more business focused. So things like, I'll click on the guide sheet here, but ag business, advanced ag business, looking at economics as well was also in the agronomy degree, credit and finance, so on and so forth. So the jobs that a student would get with this degree would also be a little bit slightly different than agronomy, but there's also a lot of overlap between the two as well. What's great about our AAS degrees, on top of the fact that they are also, traditional non-transfer, but now are transferable thanks to those articulation agreements, is that it's really easy for students at IVCC in the ag program to actually double major with these. So it only takes about one extra semester to get both degrees. And a lot of students take advantage of that, and they end up being a double major after their time at Illinois Valley Community College. So that just makes them, gives them a little bit more of a versatile class load and versatile experiences as well. And this, just like with the agronomy AAS, does have that agricultural internship and internship seminar requirement as well. So again, students get to go and have those opportunities and kind of learn what they like in the workforce and get their foot in the door, potentially with the company for maybe even a full-time position sometime down the road as well. So these AAS degrees are fantastic because it does provide a lot of versatility for students in the sense that, yeah, like Willard was saying, they can either be done after 2 years, or if they decide later on, after their first year, they're like, hey, I really like this, I want to continue on. I want to go to Illinois State, for example, then it's really easy for them to just hop on board and seamlessly transfer to Illinois State or another university that we have an agreement with. So just a lot of versatility. Okay, and then, so that was our last degree program, and we also have 2 certificates as well. The first being our cannabis production certificate. So this certificate is very unique to Illinois Valley because we are the only community college in the state that has a cannabis production certificate. A lot of other schools have more along the lines of like the retail side of the industry, but we look more at production. And so this is a 13 credit hour certificate that spans 2 semesters. So very quick, you can get it done very quickly. And what's great about this certificate is that it also has an internship requirement, just like those AAS degrees. So students get to actually go into the industry for a little bit and get their foot in the door and see what the industry is really like before they might decide, do I really want to do this as a career, or what part of the industry do I want to be in? So again, it's 2 semesters, so very easy to get done very quickly. you have that internship requirement, and it's also what we call a stackable credential. So it falls really nicely under our AAS degree in agronomy. And so essentially a student in that degree program would just have to take our cannabis production course as an elective, and thus they'd have the certificate on top of their degree upon graduation. And then from there, if they wanted to continue on, they could definitely do that with those articulation agreements. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what a stackable credential is, and this one is definitely that. And then we again have another certificate, which is brand new, agricultural studies, that I'm going to let Willard talk about.
The agricultural studies certificate was just recently developed and approved in March. And it is a short-term certificate designed to be completed in 1 year or less. And so it's 16 credit hours. The required coursework is also required in our AAS degree program. So this gives students a good start to an AAS degree, but it also makes them more employable. So if they choose at the end of the 16 credit hours to enter the workforce, then they can, they're more employable. But then if they do choose to advance on to an AAS, they can do that and then not worry about losing any credit hours. And again, they can further on at a university to finish a bachelor's degree. So the Ag Studies certificate includes 9 required credit hours of coursework, and then has 7 credit hours of elective, which one of the elective courses has to be a lab course other than the required precision agriculture course. Students interested in crop production or livestock production can certainly find options in here, because we offer 19 different agriculture courses. And so other than the 3 required ones, they have a lot of options to choose from, and it really gives them a lot of flexibility, whether your interest again is in crops or livestock or business or precision agriculture or something like that. You can really put a lot of options together in this new certificate program. So it's something we're really excited about, something we are looking forward to promoting, and students will start to enroll in this program for fall of 2021. And next on our list, I believe, is our scholarships. And so the IVCC Foundation administers the agricultural scholarships, and students complete 1 application, and they are then considered for all of the awards available through the foundation. Each year, the foundation awards over $300,000 to students across the campus to attend IVCC. Of that $300,000, over $50,000 is agriculture scholarship for ag students. And so it's really nice because it's 1 application, and based on your application, they will put you into the different scholarship pools, I'll call them, that you qualify for. So what we did was we listed all these different scholarship awards that are available to you. And so those are the ones that the foundation will put you into. So if you meet the criteria and you are qualified, then they're going to consider you for those different scholarships. The deadline for applications is always at the beginning of February. And so we are past this year's deadline for scholarships, but we encourage students to look at the deadline for next year. So juniors and seniors should really start to look at this and apply by that early February deadline. But we want to highlight a few scholarships. The first one is the Davis Family Scholarship. This is the largest award on campus. It's also the largest agriculture award at $4,500. It is renewable, so students that meet the criteria and maintain the criteria will essentially automatically renew for the 2nd year. Illinois Valley Community College, IVCC, is one of the I don't know how to exactly say it, but anyways, we're a very reasonable school. It's $133 per credit hour for tuition and fees. So when you take that 133 times the credit hours, this scholarship essentially is a full ride type of scholarship. So anyways, we always encourage students to apply and look forward to that scholarship for sure. So the other thing is we have scholarships for part-time students, and we have scholarships for second-year students. So they're not just strictly for first-year traditional high school graduates. And that's something else I think that students should be aware of. So I think that's really it on the scholarship front. So if anybody has questions, please do reach out and contact us about scholarships. And the next topic is our Ag Complex. And the Agriculture Complex is a two-phase project. We have completed phase one, which is the Agriculture Center. That's a 60 by 100 foot storage and maintenance facility. And it is pictured here on our website. It was just completed in July of 2020. We had a grand opening in the fall, which you can find the grand opening video if you click the Ag Complex website link, and you can view it there. But we use this building to store our equipment. So we have a school, we have an agreement with CNH and with Stoller International. We participate in what's called the school lease program. And so we are able to have access to brand new Case IH equipment every year. We have a brand new Magnum 340 tractor on campus. We have a 335 vertical tillage tool. We also have a brand new 16-row planter on campus that students use in labs for precision ag. And we also participate in some research with CNH and the innovation and agronomy teams from Burr Ridge. And so those two teams are actually bringing some prototype planters to campus this next month. So in April, they'll bring those planters, and we plan to plant all 150 acres of the campus farm. So that's the last thing I really want to kind of stress is the fact that we have a campus farm. It's right here connected to our parking lots on the south side of campus. It's 150 acres. We utilize this land for our labs. So we take soil samples, we take the drone out, we fly it, and we do mapping. We have a ranger and a gator that we also do field mapping with. And so we grow demonstration plots. We just, anything that we can do to support our lab courses and our courses that we teach, we plant those things, we take students out, we examine them, and we incorporate it into our classes. And so we're very proud of the fact that we can incorporate a lot of hands-on experiences into the courses that we teach here on a regular basis. So I think that's it for the Ag Complex. Those are really the main highlights.
Yep. And then next we have our upcoming events section. So we are here right now with Illinois State University. We have a couple more of these Ag Transfer Nights coming up. And then we also, our next big event that we're very excited about is our virtual Ag Symposium. So this is going to be on Monday, April 12th at 6 p.m. And so this is going to be an event open to pretty much anybody, anywhere. We're thinking of it as being more of like a statewide event. You don't have to be in our district necessarily to attend. So this is going to be an event where we're, promoting and celebrating agriculture, agricultural innovation. We have two really great speakers lined up. So we have Dr. Matt Hudson from the University of Illinois, and we also have Miriam Hoffman coming to speak to us. She's our keynote speaker. So they have two really great talks lined up for us, and we'll also have an intermission with some ag trivia hosted by our ag club members. And we're just really, really excited about it. And there will be a link on here right at this location on the webpage within the next day for you to register, and also a flyer posted with some information about it as well. So we definitely encourage everyone to come and to attend if they can. Again, please feel free to share the word with family and friends. And so after that, we next have our student activities section here. And so at IVCC within the Ag department, we do have a club, and it is the IVCC Ag Club. And so the students in this club, they get together, pre-COVID in person, of course, but get together, they network, they come up with events to host, they collaborate with different groups on campus. They do a lot, anything and everything that they want to do, they typically can do and will do. Since it is a newer club, it does give the students a lot of opportunities to do new things, and they're always right on board to be able to do that. And so they also are part of the Professional Agriculture Student Organization, or the PAS organization. And this year they competed at the state conference again. So they competed in a previous year as well, and they did fantastic. So they got second place in the College Bowl competition. And they also got, we had a team that got first place in the landscape horticulture competition. So really, really proud of those students. And again, that's something that they're always, gung-ho about doing, and obviously do a great job. And then the last point on this little section here is about Collegiate Farm Bureau. So we are not yet an official Collegiate Farm Bureau chapter, but that is hopefully coming in the very near future. So our Ag Club members have collaborated with the Collegiate Farm, Farm Bureau Young Leaders, specifically the LaSalle County Farm Bureau Young Leaders in the past. We had an event planned last year that unfortunately had to get postponed with them as well. So we're hopeful that within the next few months we can do that again and get things rolling, and again, hopefully get that Collegiate Farm Bureau chapter started as well. So lots of really great things going on with the Ag Club, and we're really, really excited about it. And so next we have our What's New section.
Yeah, so in the What's New section are current press releases and announcements that have been published about new events and things that are going on at IVCC in the Ag program. So check this out from time to time so you can stay up to speed on the things that we have going on and new events, new activities, and things like that in the Ag program. And the next section is on the Earn and Learn program. This is a great program that we have established with both GrainCo FS and AgView FS. Both companies have agreed to hire one student each year to participate in this program. And the highlights of the program are the tuition reimbursement, where at the completion of each semester, each company will reimburse the students' tuition expenses as long as they're on track and keeping up with the program. The other highlights are paid internships as well as summer jobs. So students have the opportunity to work part-time throughout the school year as well as through the summer, and it's paid work. You get paid to go there and work. And so it really can help you pay for educational expenses and related items while going to school, but also get some really valuable hands-on experience and learn about the cutting edge and modern things in the industry. And then finally, at the completion of the program, students are guaranteed 3 years of employment with the company that has hired them. So the student can, really enter the program and be assured that they have a full-time job lined up when they graduate and finish the Earn and Learn program. This is just a great opportunity for students to get a great education, get great hands-on experience, and leave at the end essentially debt-free. And so it's a great start to your career in agriculture. It is aligned with our AAS program, so the agronomy and the agricultural business degree. And at the end, if students choose to, and the company I'm sure will be excited about it, students can always use those articulation agreements again to continue their education. So it's really, I keep telling people it's a win-win, because the company gets a wonderful employee, and the employee gets an education, and it's really a win-win situation. So application deadline is August 30th. So you still have some time to send in your application, and the application is linked above. So we encourage students to print that application off, complete it, and mail it to the college. All the instructions are on the application. But as always, let us know if you have any questions.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we're really excited about that program. It's like Willard was saying, it's just a great opportunity all around. So really, really great. So yeah, on April 30th, that deadline is there. And so just about a month now. So get those applications in if you're interested. Next, we have a section on a company called Mid-American Growers. So this is specific to our cannabis production certificate students. Again, like I stated before, those students in the certificate program do have that internship requirement. And so Mid-American Growers is a local company. They're based out of Granville. They're a hemp production company, and we've partnered with them to, they have agreed to provide a certain number of internships to the students in that program. And so again, they're a hemp production company, a pretty large one at that. And they have a lot of really great experts in the industry that really know their stuff that students get to learn directly from during their time in that internship. And we actually have a couple students interning there now. And so we're really excited for them to complete that internship. That means that we will then at the end of the semester have our first students with that cannabis production certificate. So that's a really big milestone that we've hit, and we're really excited about that. So big thanks to Mid-American Growers for partnering with us and helping also put together that certificate, and then of course providing those opportunities to those students, because it's just another really great opportunity that our students have in our local community with our local companies as well. And then the last little tidbit here is on just internships as a whole, because again, it's not just those certificate students, but also our students in our AAS degrees. And really, if any student, even if you're a transfer student, if you wanted to take advantage of the internship opportunity, you can definitely do so, because a lot of times students will run into and in the instance where the college that they transfer to also has an internship course that they can just kind of transfer as well. And so there are plenty of fantastic companies within our district, within our area, that provide internships to students. And so it's just another great opportunity. It's a way for students to get hands-on experience, go into the industry, get a taste of what it's like, get a taste of, the things that they like and even dislike about a job, for instance. And it really helps a student, helps an individual figure out kind of what they want to do within the industry and what they want to do for a career. And we're just really excited that we get to give students that opportunity through that internship course. And then the last thing here is just our contact information for both Willard and myself. So please, if you have any questions at all, do not hesitate to reach out to us. We are pretty much always available and willing and happy to answer any and all questions. So that is all that we have for our section of this transfer night. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and we're going to give it over to Corey Malone from Illinois State University. I'm going to make her a co-host so that she can share her screen with us. So Corey, thank you for being here with us, and take it away whenever you're ready.
Great, thank you so much. And here I will get this going, hopefully. All right, can everybody see my screen okay? Good, all right, excellent. So that was pretty seamless. Hello, my name is Corey Malone. I'm an academic advisor in the Department of Agriculture at Illinois State University, and I'm really excited to be here tonight to talk to you about some of the opportunities at Illinois State University. And as I was listening to everything about IVCC, I was finding quite a bit of overlap between the two programs. And so, I encourage students, if you enjoy your time at IVCC, it really sounds like you'll enjoy your time at Illinois State University as well. So that was great to see that overlap, those hands-on experiences, valuing internships, all of that. So I might sound like a broken record here because I might be repeating a little bit of what Catherine and Willard said. So the best way that I can start this to describe the Department of Agriculture at ISU is that we are a small department, and that's part of a really large university. And so what that means is if you value knowing people by name, not being a number in your classes, being able to stop by your professor's offices, this is going to be the environment for you. But we don't sacrifice opportunities for our students because we are part of that larger opportunity. So we have some really big opportunities for our students here in Normal. So where I'll start is just talking a little bit about our facilities. Robb Agriculture Building is going to be our home of the department on campus. It has various classrooms, various lab spaces, mechanic shop, meats lab, all of the typical things that you would find in an agriculture building. And then I want to point out two really cool things about Robb Agriculture Building, and that is all of our professors' offices are all located right here in Robb Ag Building where I'm sitting right now. And so at other universities, you may have to walk to different buildings to talk to your different ag professors, maybe across campus. but ours are all located right here in this same building, right next door to each other. And so what that creates is a lot of collaboration amongst sequences, amongst different specialties and that kind of thing. And I really think that just helps us to produce a very well-rounded agriculture student when we have an ag business professor and an animal science professor coming together to maybe teach a livestock production course. And so it creates a lot of really cool opportunities. The other thing I'll point out about ROP Ag Building is if you've ever toured it, you've noticed that our classrooms are not that big in ROP Ag Building. In fact, most of them hold about 30 students. And so other universities might say, hey, we value those small classes, that one-on-one instruction. If you come see our classrooms and the size of those classrooms, you'll know that we really do value that. 30 is about the max that we can put in a classroom here. And so that's going to be your average size. And I would even say 30 is a little big. 20 is about our average course size here in the department. Now, a couple of your intro classes might have about 50 students in them, but that's about as large as we get. And so you really are a name and not a number. Just across the parking lot from ROP Ag Building, and that is actually the best thing about ROP Ag Building that I didn't talk about. We have our own parking lot on campus, and so when you're trying to park in the middle of Bloomington Normal, it can be pretty valuable to have your own parking lot. So our students are able to park right outside our building. So just across that parking lot is a building called the Huddleston Building, and you can see a picture of it here. The Huddleston Building is technically the home of our Ag Ed and Ag Communications program. But what we really love about the Huddleston Building is it's got some really cool small team meeting rooms. And so if you have a group project happening in one of your classes where you just need to get together, have access to the internet, some different technology, you can reserve a room in Huddleston and you can get together in one of those spaces. So on campus, that is our big presence, but most of our classes actually take place at a couple of our off-campus facilities. And the first one I'll talk about is the Horticulture Center. So the Horticulture Center is going to be the focal point of our horticulture instruction. We even have an outdoor classroom that was built by some of our horticulture students. It's about a mile from ROP Ag Building. So absolutely a walkable distance if it's a nice day. If not, we always provide transportation there. The Horticulture Center has about 13 different themed gardens. They host a lot of different horticulture events like our autumnal festival and those types of things. So really a great place for our hort students and even other students to go get some hands-on experience. The last facility I'll talk about that's kind of represented here is our Illinois State University farm. Our farm is about 600 acres. Most of that is, of course, in row crop production, research and that type of thing. But we also have beef cattle, swine, and sheep at the university farm. And so a majority of our agronomy classes, a majority of our animal science classes, they all take place at the farm. And the farm is located at Lexington, Illinois, which is about 20 minutes from campus. A lot of students tell me they're very concerned. What if I don't have transportation on campus? We actually provide that for our students. And so that's never anything to be concerned about. How am I going to get to the farm? We can absolutely provide that for our students. So most of our classes actually maybe don't even take place right here where I'm sitting now, but that's one thing we're proud of. We really value that experiential learning, hands-on experience. Our faculty, we currently have about 25 different faculty members that call the Department of Ag home. And so what this creates for students is about a 19-to-1 student to faculty ratio. And so we're really proud of that student to faculty ratio. Like I said, you're a name and not a number. And these people will really prove that to you. They typically in a normal school year have a very open door policy, stop by, ask questions. They want to get to know you outside the classroom. They want to help you understand topics. Now, COVID has made things a little different. I think we're supposed to keep our office doors shut, but this group of people has a really tough time doing that because they love to get to know students and that type of thing. And I already talked about, their offices being right next door to each other. They work together as a team. We work together as a team, so a lot of collaboration and that type of thing. As far as what different majors do we have in the Department of Agriculture, we have 10 different, what we call sequences. We don't call them majors. We have food industry management, animal industry management, pre-veterinary science, crop and soil science, horticulture and landscape management, ag communications and leadership, agribusiness, ag education, agronomy management, and animal science. And so we talked a little bit about being a part of the transfer program and transferring here, and you can pretty seamlessly transfer into any of our degree sequences. You can view all of the secret sequence plans on our website if that's something that interests you. A really cool thing about our department is that most of the classes, you might sit here and say, I'm an animal science student, but I recognize how valuable ag business is going to be to my future career goals. And so all of our plans are really designed for you to be able to work those other types of classes into your plan to really give you that strong foundation as you go out into the workforce. Clubs and activities, this might be somewhere where I sound a little bit like I'm repeating what they've already said. We are so proud of our 11 different registered student organizations in the Department of Ag. So whatever you're interested in, you can find it here. You can find people that enjoy doing what you're doing. You can see from the titles on the screen that we go from one end of the spectrum all the way to the other. A majority of our registered student organizations, they do the normal, they have the monthly meetings and that type of thing, but then they also will do some sort of competition, competitive event. And so, for instance, our National Agro Marketing Association, they go to the National NAMA conference and they present their marketing plan that they have developed all year for a product that they developed. And they've been really, really successful. They're really proud of that. They've won several of the past years. For instance, our Hoof and Horn Club, they host a really large jackpot cattle show here in the Bloomington Normal area. We compete at the NACTA judging competition. We take a lot of different teams there. In fact, we are the reigning Reserve Supreme Sweepstakes school at the NACTA judging competition. And I can say that because COVID canceled it last year. So we weren't there. We weren't in attendance last year. No one was. But 2 years ago, we were the reserve champion team. So something we're really proud of. Our faculty all get very involved in our registered student organizations, advising them, helping them to not only network with students that are interested in the same things they're interested in, but also network with professionals that they might bring to club meetings and that type of thing. We do have some Greek life on campus. We've got the farmhouse. We've got Sigma Alpha, which is our professional women's sorority, and then we also have Alpha Zeta. So you'll find those on several campuses, but our different sororities and fraternities do some really great philanthropies and that type of work. I have to brag about Alpha Zeta for a minute. They host a large event every year, not every night, called the Mr. Agriculture Pageant. And so if you think of the Miss America pageant, but instead of the contestants, being female from each state, it's 10 different males from the Department of Agriculture. And so they have their evening wear, they have their talent, they have their questions round, and everyone's invited. A bunch of people from the community come and they raise money for Heifer International. And so it's a fun night where we all come together as a department. We laugh way too much at the talent or lack thereof of our contestants. And so it's a really good time. We do have some study abroad opportunities in the Department of Agriculture. And so I want to point out that within the university, there's far more than just these two study abroad opportunities, but these are the two sponsored by our department. One is a trip to France, where you basically learn about international agriculture, international agribusiness. You eventually make your way to Paris, and you can earn up to 6 credit hours for going on this study abroad trip. The other is to Argentina. You can earn up to 3 credit hours for going on this trip. And the trip to Argentina focuses a lot on farm to plate production within that country. And so We typically have our students come back from their study abroad opportunity and they say that that was their favorite opportunity of all, either their 4 years or their 2 years here at ISU. And so all really enjoy those programs. I'm hopeful that give it another year and our study abroad programs will be able to start back up. But of course, we all have to be flexible in this time. And of course, they did not get to attend that last year. So work experience, just as IVCC really values those internships and getting their students out in the workforce, we do as well here at ISU. And here's one place where I think that we can really kind of get a leg up on the competition. And that's because if you think about some of those really, really top ag companies in the state of Illinois, and some of them are coming to mind. In fact, I've seen on IVCC's website the name of several. Their home base is right here in Bloomington Normal. So our location is phenomenal in terms of getting our students exposed to not just ag companies, but good progressive ag companies. So we really value internship. When you have as amazing of companies as we do right here, just 10 minutes from us, it's hard not to. And so our students can earn up to 6 credit hours for completing an internship. We have students do this in the summer, during the school year, however they can make it work with them. It's based on your GPA, how many total credit hours you can get, and then also how many hours you work. A majority of our students come back from their internship experience with a job offer. And so that's pretty great. We tried to put a percentage with it to try and figure out exactly. And we were definitely in the 80% coming back with a full-time job offer from their internship opportunities. Like I said, I can't say enough about the opportunities that a lot of companies right here in Bloomington Normal will offer. Networking kind of goes hand in hand with that. We, value getting students out exposed to professionals in the agriculture industry. We host a very, very large agriculture career fair. Of about 70 ag companies come to our career fair. It was virtual last year. We are so hopeful it will be back in person in the fall, and signs are pointing in the right direction that it will be. Not only is this your typical career fair that you can take your resume, take your business card, introduce yourself to companies that you're interested in, but a lot of these companies will actually come and reserve rooms within Ropp Ag Building or within Huddleston, and they'll say, hey, we want to set up job interviews on the same day as your career fair. So, you might give your resume to someone at a booth for a company, and they might say, hey, can you come back at 2 o'clock to room 107? We'd like to interview for you for a position. And so more frequently, we have companies doing that. And that's just really exciting in terms of them being so impressed with the quality of our students that they're wanting to interview them right there on the spot. And I think that was the end of what I had, but I did want to open it up for questions because I know that you might have specific questions, that might be related to you as a student and where you're at in your studies, or maybe there's something I didn't cover, but I'm happy to answer those questions for you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How long are your study abroad programs? Like, how long do they last?
Yeah, so they are different lengths, and oh man, I'm probably going to get which is which. I'm not even going to tell you which is which, but I'm going to tell you that they are about 3 to 4 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks. Give me that little bit of playroom there for you. So if you want to know even more specifically, I'm happy. Dr. Ozahan Spalding is our study abroad coordinator, and I'm happy to put you in touch with her.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. If Allison's going to be quiet, I'm going to call her out and see if her sister is Montana.
You are correct.
I knew I had to be correct. Montana's a past student of ours who I very much enjoyed. I enjoyed her so much that my family trains border collie dogs, and she ended up buying a puppy from us. So
yep, good old Levi.
Levi is so. And I saw the last name, and then I saw you, and I thought they have to be sisters. So
yep. Right on the money.
Any other questions? Well, that's all I have, Catherine and Willard. But I will, of course, leave my contact information. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to email me.
Perfect. Thank you, Corey, so much for being here with us and giving your presentation and answering the questions. And yeah, so for those of you watching this in the future, please feel free to reach out to either myself or Willard if you have questions about Illinois Valley, and then to Corey as well if you have questions about Illinois State, just as a whole, or about the transfer process also. So thank you everyone for joining us and watching this in the future as well. And again, please do not hesitate to contact us if you have any questions.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thanks for having
you.
me.